Shanley, runs through Sharper, runs through Adele, runs through Jabari Greer. Get off me, he says to Tracy Porter. Look all the way down the field, Hasselback, all the offensive linemen. Are you kidding me?
Welcome to the Hmd Podcast, the number one fantasy football podcast in the world, Craig. Top flight podcast of the world, Craig. This fantasy podcast is the Hold My Dick League, right? It is the podcast that at the end of the year, if you're trying to hold your dick in that championship, then you listen to this podcast.
Hold my dick.
Hold my dick. We got Mike Bruckner, a.k.a. Larry Hoover.
Welcome.
He's a Giants fan, so every week we're going to talk about the Giants. Even if they suck, we'll still be talking about it. And then you got Ryan Bailey, a.k.a. the Commish, and I'm a Seahawks fan. Let's go fucking Hawks. Let's get it, boy. And we're going to be talking about Seahawks matchups. And it's a great first week to talk about Seahawks matchups because it's Russ Wilson going up against the stud Pete Carroll. So we're going to start off the podcast always talking about our stud of the week. So we're going to start off with Mike, who he thinks is going to be the stud of the week. Let's go, boy.
Well, first of all, I think that Russ Wilson's coming out to stick it to your stud, Pete Carroll there. We got Denver as a 6.5-point favorite going to Seattle on Monday night. Russell Wilson's looking for revenge. He wants to cook. Nate Hackett, first-time coach, is going to let him cook. I think Russ Wilson comes out and throws 5 or 6 touchdowns against the Seahawks and just fucking kills them. It's going to be a rough night for lots of Seahawks fans out there.
So dirty, man. So dirty. That's my biggest fear right now is that Russ is going to come out and he's just going to throw 4 touchdowns in like the first half, and Geno is going to look like Geno always does and can't do anything. Like, can't score at all.
I think Seahawks fans need to be staying away from sharp objects on Monday night.
Oh, I'm for sure watching that game in a dark room where I can cry and not be heard of while I scream and yell at the screen.
Russ Wilson, my stud of the week, baby.
Woo! Get him, boy. All right, for me, it's going to be McCaffrey. It's his time to come out, shine. He's been hurt all the time, but he's healthy right now. He's going to go at it. He's going to run for over 200 yards.
Whoa.
To be an absolute stud. This is a revenge game for his boy, Baker Mayfield. He's going to want to come out and make sure that he can do all he can to win that game for Baker. And I think he's going to get up to 30 points. We're in a half PPR league, just to give you guys a little update there. So, we won't always be going high on wide receivers because it's a half PPR. But, McCaffrey's going to come out. He could have easily 10 catches, 300 yards easily. That's my stud of the week. Let's go.
I did see he was just added to the injury report in the last hour with a shin issue. He did practice there, but it's just the old McCaffrey, baby. Let it begin. By week 3, he's going to be gone.
Man, everyone's always watching him, dude. Everything he does, they're just going to watch. All right. Let's move on to talk about, this Thursday night game, which is Rams versus Bills, which is, the Lambs. We hate the Lambs. I don't want them. I'm going to be rooting for the Bills on Thursday night. But, we want to start off with, figuring out who you should start at Bills running back. If you're going to have to start one of them, who do you want to start? And if we think that, don't even try to start those guys, then we're going to move on. I'm going to let Mike go off here.
Yeah, I was looking at some stats here, and I see that the Rams have actually been top 5 against the run in the last 2 seasons with Aaron Donald there. So it's a team that you definitely can't run on. And to start with that here, I think the Bills don't really have – I think they kind of have a 3-headed monster at running back. They're going to go with Singletary, Cook, and even Zach Moss. I think it's unpredictable who's going to get the ball near the goal line, and I'm staying away from all Bills running backs tonight.
Stay away! Damn, dirty. Yeah, I would agree. Bills running backs are just not good at all. The only running back on the Bills is Josh Allen. So everyone knows that you're going to start Josh Allen. So that's the running back for the Bills to start. All right, then let's move on to the Rams running backs. I mean, Cam Akers is always drafted high. So what do you think, Mike?
I think Cam Akers is washed. I think he's got a torn Achilles. I think he's got a torn Achilles, and I think he washed. I think tonight the world gets to meet Daryl Henderson, the RB4 in my Hold My Dick League roster. I think his stock will be trending up after tonight. But with that being said, I stay away from all Rams running backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm big on not starting running backs on Thursday night games. Now, I know it's the first week, right? And so it's a little different than maybe the rest of the weeks because it's not a shorter play time. But yeah, I'm usually big on not starting running backs on Thursday night. And I'm not big on people who tear their Achilles and then try to come back and play. And Daryl Henderson, who I had last year and just kind of fizzles out and is just kind of trash at times. I wouldn't start any Rams running backs. And like normally every week, I'm going to say not to start running backs on Thursday night games. So I got to agree. But I think Daryl Henderson could come along here and be a stud in that offense for sure. They're going to run that football now. All right, so let's move on. Flex play, right? We want to get some flex players out there. We got Davis on the Bills and we got Robinson on the Rams. This is a good spot to choose if you had to start one of them or sit one of them if you've got them both on your team. Or even if you're just kind of figuring out if you want to throw them in that flex spot. I know some of the guys on our league are trying to debate. They put Robinson in or sit Keenan Allen or something like that. So let's go. Let's get it, Mike. Let us know what you think.
I actually love both Allen Robinson and Gabe Davis. In my $1,000 fantasy football league, my wide receivers 2 and 3 are actually Gabe Davis and Allen Robinson. So I got them both going tonight. Along with CeeDee Lamb, it's kind of funny. I have the exact same receivers as John in my other league. So John, I do like your receivers in the Home My Dig. All the best to you. I don't like your running backs, but props on your receivers. I start both Allen Robinson and Gabe Davis. I'll go out on a limb tonight, and I love a parlay. Both of them scoring touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, I'm all about it. That's some dirty shit right there. Robinson, I'm huge on. I think he's a stud. I think he's going to come out here and he's going to dominate all season, barring any sort of injury or anything like that. They're going to double, triple team the boy out there, Cooper Kupp, and Robinson is just going to take over. Every single second wide receiver, whether it's Brandon Cooks, whether it was Odell Beckham at one point, or it's the homeboy that went off to the Titans, Robert Woods. Robinson's going to be that guy's going to step right in. He's going to get 1,000 yards. He's going to just kill it throughout the whole season. I'm big on. I'm not as big on Gabe Davis as everyone else. I don't know what he can actually produce out there. That offense is built around Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And, I just feel like, if there's somebody else who's going to jump in, it could be Davis or it could be the tight end.
You remember Davis? You remember Davis's last game on the Bills? Remember the last game?
Dominate, but
4 TDs.
Dominate, but throughout a long season, we'll see. But if tonight, I would start him. I would start him tonight. Like, if that's what you want to do on Thursday night, I would start both Davis and Robinson, throw them in there. Thursday night quarterbacks, Thursday night wide receivers, I love to get them out there, start them up.
Tre'Davious White out for the Bills tonight as well. So another good thing for Robinson.
Yeah, that was definitely going to occur. And, obviously, Jalen Ramsey's not going to be covering Davis. So let's move on now. Do you start Bills or Rams defense? They're top defenses in the league. Who are you going to start? Do you not start them? I'm going to start off with this one. I usually don't start Thursday night defenses. I don't like starting Thursday night defenses. I think the short week doesn't allow them to prepare enough for those dynamic offenses in the league now. So I usually would say don't start them, but it is week 1. These defenses have had lots of time to go at it, but you don't get to tackle as much during training camp. So there's going to be some missed tackles tonight. There's going to be some sloppy play on defense. I wouldn't start either of them, and I'm not big on drafting defenses early. So I would just try to find a plug and play, someone who's going to play against maybe the Giants or maybe play against the Jets, and then plug those guys in. So, let's go, Mike.
Love it. I think that both of these defenses are definitely top defense in the league, but I think a shootout's in store tonight. I think that the over-under in Vegas is like 52 points or something. It's one of the highest totals of the week. I like your point on Thursday. I like your point on Thursday night defenses. I usually stay away. I think both these defenses are usually must starts, but I think tonight there's good reason to sit them both.
Let's go. That's right. All right, let's move on. We're going to start off the next matchup that we chose with Eagles versus Lions. The reason why we chose the Eagles is because all the studs they got over there on offense right now. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I'm obviously think that they're going to be a dynamic offense with A.J. Brown over there now. I think they're going to just go crazy over there. But we want to start off. We're just going to go off on, do you start Miles Sanders? He's a big question mark. The Eagles fans hate his guts. They hate everyone, but they do hate Miles Sanders. And if you got him, I know you drafted him, and you might have to play him. So would you start Miles Sanders?
I think Miles Sanders is one of those guys that no one gets excited about. I think that he might not have even scored a rushing touchdown last season.
He didn't score one, not one.
Yeah, but he does. You got to look at it on paper. And you know what? On paper, the Eagles are stacked. They're going to be leading in a lot of games. I think they're going to be running the ball. And they have the best offensive line in football. It's one of those things you just kind of got to close your eyes and put them in your starting lineup and hope it goes well. It's not sexy, but I think you do start Miles Sanders this week.
Dirty pick. I'm big on being able to have redemption seasons, right? You score 0 touchdowns, you're going to score 10 this year, right? Like, that's how I feel about it. I feel like if they really wanted to, they could have drafted some really good running backs this offseason or brought in somebody big. But they didn't do any of that. They kept Miles Sanders there. They kept that kind of headed monster over there. And I think that if he can catch the football and he can be out there, he's going to be really good on that offense. He's going to be a stud. So I say start Miles Sanders this week. If you need to put him in there, throw him in there. He could be a good flex play. He could be good out there. And as you know, there's going to be some question marks with how the things might go on in a couple weeks from here. But for this week, let's go. Let's go, Miles Sanders. Let's get it going. Now, who are you going to start? I'm big on, Goddard this season. But, Devontae, he's good. He played good last year. Well, who would you start? Would you start with Devontae or Goddard? Or who do you think is going to be that number 2 option?
I'm playing Big Dick Nick this week in a Hmd Dick League. So I got to say, fuck Devontae Smith this week because Nick's starting him as his wide receiver 2, which is ridiculous. So I'm fading Devontae Smith this week just for selfish reasons. But I do think Goddard's going to surprise some people. I think that he's going to be – I think that he's equivalent to Devontae Smith. I think he's like a 2A, 2B. They're going to be a 2A and 2B option. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big game from A.J. Brown right out the gate.
Facts, straight up. I love Goddard. I'm big on Goddard. I mean, I read a stat that that homeboy targeted Goddard, almost the highest percentage of anyone else targeting tight ends. I was big on drafting him as my only tight end, but I decided to take Mark Andrews. Usually guys who are young in this league, they target tight ends quickly because they're safer, they're safer checkdowns. They just need to get some, offensive coordinators are always saying, hey, we just need you to get a completion so you can get your rhythm. And who's the best person to hit for completions is your tight end.
The tight end.
The tight end, dude. He's going to get you confident. He's going to get you going. So I think it's just going to be a Goddard, A.J. Brown slugfest out there. I think they're just going to domination. And then Lions side, I mean, really, you're not going to start anyone other than the 2 main studs, which is Aquinius Brown, St. Brown, and then the running back, Swift. So basically, those 2, we all know you're going to start them. That's totally fine. St. Brown looks like his stud. His dad's a Mr. Olympian. Like, that's the coolest thing I ever heard. And he's just going to be a monster out there for the whole year. And Swift, he could be one of the best backs in the league. It's all about the young backs out there, and that could be his year to be that young stud number 1 back. So there's no real questions other than that. You're not going to start anybody else on that team, and you're definitely not going to start Jared Goff because he sucks. All right, let's move on to Dolphins versus Patriots. Obviously, we're starting off again with the Dolphins because they just gotten, Tyreek Hill, stud, like absolute stud. That is my dog. And we know you go start him. So it's more about, let's start off with who's you going to start on the Patriots side of the ball, right? Ramondre or Harris? I mean, those both big boys, they're both good at what they do. Harris was a stud last year, but we don't know Bill Belichick that well. We don't know what his thought process is on things. He could easily bench a guy who got 1,000 yards last year and be a third string back next year. I mean, everyone remembers the Jonas Gray effect. The guy had 4 touchdowns and 250 yards, and the next week he was like cut from the team. It was wild. So, who you like between the two, Mike?
I think I kind of see him. I've been hearing rumors that they're gonna like split off every drive, kind of thing. Like they're gonna give Harris a drive, then Rhamondre a drive. I think it kind of depends on game script here. I think that if they get down early to the Dolphins, they have to throw. I think Rhamondre is going to be on the field more. I think Rhamondre is a beast. He's really interesting. He's like a Garrett Blount, but can catch. I'm a huge Rhamondre fan. I definitely don't hate Damian Harris. I think both of them are going to be fantasy relevant, and they might drive people crazy this year too.
So cool. I mean, honestly, I would start either one. It's a big deal to me. I think you could, if you have to, start both. Like, this could be a dual-headed backfield, and it could be almost like a Chubb homeboy situation, Kareem Hunt. So there you go. You can start both. I like both. I'm big on both. I say just start both and then see what happens. But next on here is, do you start Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry has been around for many years now. Every year, he's always considered the guy who's going to be the next best tight end. He played pretty well last year. And if you're in our league like us, tight ends are kind of finicky products out there. You don't know who you're going to start. You don't know what you're going to do with them. I'm going to start off here with this one. I think you should start Henry if you've got a chance. If you're just going to start him over a Cole Kmet, or if you're going to start him over, one of the Dolphins, Gesicki, then I would start Henry over him. I'm just big on Henry. I like Henry. I think, as again, young quarterbacks, they target their tight ends quite often to get that confidence, and Henry's a good, sure, tight end out there. So I say start Henry if you got him. If you're questioning it, go ahead and do it. All right, Big Mike, what you got?
I just don't trust any of the Patriots. Even the running backs got to wait and see it play out. I just don't trust Bill Belichick, and I'm too afraid to play any Patriots offensive player this week until I see their offense in action. So I don't know what to expect. Like what you said with Jonas Gray, we've been hearing about Rhamondre and Hunter Henry all offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even play. It's just a bunch of rumors. You never know, and I'm staying away from all Patriots offensive players.
Damn, dirty. I say start Rhamondre and Harris. That's how you go at it. They're going to run that football. They're going to run that football, boy. All right, dirty. I say start Henry. Damn, dirty. But let's move on to the wide receivers of the Patriots, right? They all suck. None of them are good. So I don't say start any of them. I say you wait to see who Mac Jones just kind of targets. And if the Patriots offense is as bad as it possibly could be, then later on in the season, you can get great garbage time points out of wide receivers. Amazing garbage time wide receiver points.
I'm gonna make a bold call here on episode 1. I'm gonna say around week 10 of this season, Patriots sign Odell Beckham.
Ooh, dirty. That's a bold call. So are you saying the Patriots would be in a position to go to the playoffs around that time? Or are you just saying
like 5-5? 5-5 are gonna sign Odell.
We'll see. But that's bold. That's bold prediction. Let's go. I love it. All right. Do you start Waddle on the Miami Dolphins side? I mean, basically, everyone knows you're going to start Tyreek Hill. But what about Waddle? He had an amazing year last year. But now he's number 2. What do we do?
Yes. You start Waddle. The boys got moves. The boys got jukes. Mike McDaniel knows how to coach up talent. I think this dude's too good of a player to put on your bench. And yes, you start Jalen Waddle every week.
Got to take him.
Got to.
All right, cool. I'm down for Waddle. Check that right off. I love Waddle. I thought he was a stud last year. Let's go. I'm not the word. I like Tua a bit, but that's because I just loved him at Alabama so much that I wish the best for him. And I think he could do it one day. So let's go. If he can't do it with these wide receivers, then the boy sucks. So let's move on. All right, let's move on to the boys, the G-men over here versus the Titans. Let's go. I want to hear your bold predictions of the game, Mike. Let's go.
Bold predictions, Giants put up like 10 points. We lose like 31-10 to the Titans. That's my bold prediction. as far as fantasy guys go on the Giants, I think you got to start Saquon Barkley, and I think he's the only guy that you can play on that offense this week.
Dirty. I was big on Tony in the offseason for the Giants wide receivers. He's been hurt all offseason, and who really knows what you're going to get out of it. There was that young stud in the preseason that came out of the Giants. I forget his name at the moment. I'll look it up later on. But there was a young stud coming out of the Giants wide receivers that I was, thinking later on, maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll talk about him again. And maybe he'll be exactly. That's who it is. You might want to put him up in a queue, get him ready for things like that, because that team's going to have garbage time points. Garbage time points are just as good as any other point out there. Don't let anyone else talk shit about your garbage time points. Fuck them. Get your garbage time points.
Points are points.
Points are points. Titans defense. I say you start the Titans defense. You go at it. If you're thinking about starting any other defense this week, if you had the Bills or the Rams, I would say start Titans defense over them immediately. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Obviously, I don't know how Robert Woods is going to play out this year on that offense, especially coming off an injury. So I don't know if you should start him. I would say hold him on your bench. Don't start him for right now. But remember, he is still really good at what he does. What do you think?
I think Robert Woods is going to come out the year that he's going to be the number one option to Tannehill. I think that the Giants do have their defensive backfield is pretty legit, and I just worry how much the Titans are going to be throwing in this game, because I think they're going to be leading. I think just the king eats and eats and eats.
Dirty. All right, let's move on. Raiders versus Chargers. Obviously, we're picking this one because, one, the Raiders have made some offseason acquisitions. Should really help and open up that offense a little bit more. And then, two, the Chargers are, we're looking at maybe the future MVP of this league, and almost all his studs on offense should be starters in your league. But you might need to think about it a little bit more. And so we're going to talk about this game a little bit. Do you start Hunter Renfrow now that, Devontae Adams is in this league, is in this team?
I think this is a little bit of a wait and see approach as well. I think the Raiders have a new coach, whole new offensive system. I think that if you have Renfrow, he's like a wide receiver 3 flex, you probably have some other options to consider. I lean against Renfrow this week, just until I'm seeing the Raiders offense in action.
Okay, cool. Let's go, boy. I like it. I agree. I think that it's Devontae Adams and the relationship with Derek Carr is too good already, so that, right in the beginning, he's gonna target, Adams immediately. I know Renfrow and Carr's relationship is good too, but it's just not going to mean anything for this first week because Carr's already got a relationship with Adams. If it was another wide receiver like an A.J. Brown coming over to play with Derek Carr, I'd be like, hey, still start Renfrow because they've got a good relationship from last year. They still know each other a lot. A.J. Brown and Adams or Carr need to figure it out more. No, Adams is coming out strong. They're best friends. They're going to kill it. What about Josh Jacobs? You big on him?
No, I'm staying away from Josh Jacobs. I think that the Raiders' backfield is also going to be three-headed monster. They're going to split a lot of carries. Well, the second I saw Josh Jacobs play in the Hall of Fame preseason game, I knew it wasn't going to be his season.
I agree. I mean, I like him. I liked him coming out of college. He's got a great story. He's a hard runner, but he just hasn't done anything special. And it's probably maybe because he's just been on the Raiders and they're not special. That's just who they are. But question, keep holding on to him. If he emerges because it's a contract year, then get it going, right? Contract years, that boy's going to run, right? So hold off maybe on 1 week with him. But if you've got no one else, or if you're, obviously Mike would probably start Jacobs over maybe a Harris or Ramondre. But, for right now, hold on to him, see what you got to do. All right, let's move on to the next thing over here. Broncos versus Seahawks. The Monday night game. Whoa, boys. What the fuck is going on? Why is Russell Wilson on the Broncos? No one knows. Just sucks for me as a Seahawks fan. But, let's talk about their wide receivers, Sutton and Judy, right? They're both really good, and they're going to play a lot better now that they have a real quarterback on their team, right? They're going to just need to get open, right? There's going to be a lot of scramble plays by Russell. He's going to be moving out of the pocket. He's going to be having to find and make his magic because that's what he does, right? He's magic on the field. So I like both wide receivers. I say start both of them, especially if you're going to start Judy in the flex or Sutton as your number 2 wide receiver or number 1. Just go at it, get it going, because Russ is going to want to score a lot of touchdowns. And this offense is going to, it's going to have some issues in the beginning because it's a new offense for Russell. It's new wide receivers for Russell. It's not going to click immediately. It's new language. It's new everything. So it's going to take a minute, but he's going to want to score 4 or 5 touchdowns. He's going to chuck that ball all over the field. So yeah, good. I mean, obviously I think the Broncos are going to win, but I think that, we might kill Russell in this game. So if we can, then we're going to win. And that's what I hope. What do you think? You thinking about those Sutton and Judy?
Sutton and Judy, I really can't decide on. One of them is going to be way better than the other, I think. It's going to be hard for them to just be 1A, 1B. I think I lean Jerry Judy this year, but both of them are going to produce. But I just feel like just one of them is going to be like a top 10 receiver this year.
True. That's true. And I think it might be Sutton that does it. But Judy is easily the Tyler Lockett of that squad. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's going to be tough to figure out who's going to be the guy. But I think eventually one of them will come out as a top 10 wide receiver. Do you start Gordon at a running back position? I mean, everyone is, not high on him. And he was drafted super low in a lot of leagues. But he's a stud. So what do you think?
I actually have him in Hold My Dick League, and I ain't starting him this week. I've offered him to Justin a few times for Dameon Pierce. He keeps saying no, and then I offered Justin Melvin Gordon and Darrell Henderson for Dameon Pierce. He said no again. I've been trying to get him. So the rumors out there here on this podcast, you listen to this podcast, you get the league breaking, you get that dirty news, baby.
Dude, but no, I would definitely trade him for those guys. What? That's crazy.
What's Justin doing, dude? Justin, hope you're not listening to this. But, yep, here we go. So I do not start Melvin Gordon. I do not. I think Javante's show. I do think that the game script could help him. I think that the Broncos could be winning big. But something in me just sees a close game with some Russell Wilson heroics late. Throws his 5th touchdown pass in overtime to win the game.
Damn, so dirty. Yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. I think Gordon's going to be great. I think you can still start him throughout this, throughout the season, especially when it's, who's going to be the best player out there on 2-minute drills or up-tempo offense, because Russ is going to want to run an up-tempo offense. Or if he's given the reins to do that, that's all he wants to do is run an up-tempo offense so he can read the defenses faster. He can get out there and make mistakes. So if he's gonna be out there for that up-tempo offense, then yeah, go at it. If he's not, then you're not gonna see him out there as much as you were hoping for. All right, cool. Now, what about Lockett? Tyler Lockett was drafted super low in a lot of leagues. DK still drafted super high, but Lockett drafted super low. What do you feel about Lockett out there?
I just do not trust Geno Smith. If it were me, I don't want to start either of them. I don't want to start Lockett or Metcalf, really.
Man, sad news. It's tough, right? I didn't draft either one of them. I drafted the running back, Rashad Penny, because I think that they're going to run that football, right? If they could just run and stay in the game, then they've got a chance. Now, if they could get some garbage time points from DK and Lockett, for sure. That's what we could see here, some garbage time points. But I've seen Geno play before. Geno doesn't take risks. Geno can't, really make anything happen outside of what he's told to do. So if the game gets too fast for him, or if he's got to move out of that pocket and make a read right away, it's just not going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough out there. So I think start DK, but yeah, I wouldn't start Lockett this week 1. Let's see what happens. Even though Lockett did have a lot of catches in the preseason with Geno. Well, all right. Any Twitter news you got? We're done with the game checks. Let's go Twitter news. What you got?
I got no Twitter news. We've had no news for the last few days because we just waiting for kickoff. We got 3 hours right now. We've made it a long, cold winter. It feels like it's been forever, but in 3 hours, it's back. America, we did it. 3 hours until football season starts.
So dirty. I can't believe it's here. I'm so ready. Only Twitter news, RIP to the Queen Elizabeth. Best queen we've ever had.
RIP, I'm going to pour one out.
Forward out for the queen, baby. That's about it. I know that the Rams GM and coach just got signed till 26, so that's going to help out a lot, alleviate any sort of questions or any sort of drama that happens throughout the season. That was cool to hear. I mean, I really hate both of them, and I hope they both suck this year. But that does help with just making sure everyone stays focused on football. Next, we're gonna talk about who you sleeping on, and then that's gonna wrap it up for us. So, Mike, give me 2 players who you think are gonna be studs this week that no one really talks about.
Number 1, I just mentioned him in my trade for Justin. I got the rookie Dameon Pierce, running back out of Houston. Lovie Smith just confirmed that he's going to be the starting running back today. I think Houston plays tough with Indy. I think Indy is actually not that great against the run. It's in Houston. I think they're going to ride Dameon Pierce. I think he runs for over 100 yards and a touchdown, comes under the radar and is a fantasy stud. And then my second stud is actually Hollywood Brown. They're playing the Chiefs. Arizona is. It's got a really high total in Vegas. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Kyler's going to get a little bit desperate, and he's going to rely on his boy. He's going to throw up some Hail Marys to Hollywood Brown. So my studs of the week here, underground, are Dameon Pierce and Hollywood. Let's go, baby.
Damn, so dirty. So dirty. Nice. I like it. I mean, obviously, everyone's high on Dameon Pierce right now. We're all going for it. Hollywood Brown. He's also best friends with his quarterback, Kyler Murray. So he's going to be great. I mean, you can't. There's something about friendships. It's something that you love, right?
Hollywood likes to go fast. He likes to go fast, as we saw by his speeding ticket.
Dude, what? Why are you driving so fast? All right. AJ Dillon, right? AJ Dillon is one of the sleepers. I think it's going to be a stud out there. I think that if Lazard can't play, then AJ Dillon is going to run. See, there you go, boy. You got that AJ Dillon time now, right?
My RB2, baby.
See, yeah, start him up. Like, get him in that lineup immediately because he's going to do all the running out there while the other homeboy is doing all the wide receiver work because they don't have any wide receivers. They don't have any right now. So AJ Dillon's going to be the running back this week. And that's just how it's going to be. Now, my second sleeper to go off of here, I think that we need to look at maybe some of these Jags players out there now. Trevor Lawrence is one of the most highly sought-after quarterbacks coming out of high school that anyone had ever seen before. Now, he had a bad year last year, and I think having someone like ETN on his squad ready to go week 1 and a friend from Clemson, he's going to be a stud as well. That kid's going to be a stud this week. No one's really talking about him, but let's go, boy. I think he's going to run all day. So get those boys in your lineup if you can. And, for the Hmd Podcast, the Hold My Big League Podcast, this is our week 1 analysis of who to start and sit this week. So let's go, boy.
Best of luck, everyone. Let's go. See you the rest of the season.
All right, go Hawks, boys.